Now, this is according to an article in the Economic Times where I read that 26% of respondents really dread the idea of being dependent on their children or families during their old age. 28% without an alternative income source were truly prepared for the stress-free retirement we all dream about. Moreover, a lot of Indians invest primarily in life insurance and fixed deposits for their retirement. Indians today are saving but investing less. What's more, they are allocating more than half their income to current expenses, as mentioned by PGIM Indian Mutual Fund survey, a survey I came across a few days ago. Our constant worry for the future isn't quite the sigh of relief, considering we are thinking of the higher cost of living, healthcare issues, or even the lack of family support towards the future. Okay, viewers, don't be so stressed. Let me tell you, it's quite the natural tendency in us Indians to think more on the lines of our children's needs and the overall security of the family, which obviously would take precedence over the rest. At the MyFund Bazaar Investor Awareness Show, today's episode is dedicated to every Indian who wants to plan for your retirement but don't know how to go about it, where to start, or how much to save. And to get rid of your uncertainties, we have HDFC mutual funds paving a new juncture, so to say. So while you go around, take your notepads out, don't forget to continue watching this particular video. Exactly, viewers, you are at the right video and you have definitely clicked on the right thumbnail. Okay, viewers, I know you're waiting to hear from the HDFC team, so before you scroll all down to the description box to directly use the timestamp option, let me take a moment here to introduce to you the HDFC team. We have the Deputy Vice President and National Lead Training HDFC AMC, Mr. Krishan Sharma, who has addressed more than 2,000 investment seminars and training sessions covering 180 cities in the country and abroad. Known to be one of the best trainers in the industry has ever seen, viewers, you might just have heard him speak before. I definitely have. That's why you're here, for him. It all makes sense now. Okay, keeping the drama for later, it is an honor for us at the MyFund Bazaar Academy to be enlightening the masses on the platform, syncing with our initiative of making every Indian financially free and making holistic, smarter money-making decisions. It is now time for me to hand over the platform to the HDFC team.
Friends, believe me, I'll not be able to speak as well as Shruti was speaking. But the subject is very dear to me, and Shruti, for that, really thankful to you. This is, believe me, is the biggest challenge for the contemporary times, right? And no hesitation to say this, it's a ticking time bomb. If you will not prepare yourself for retirement, we will have a very challenging time in our later years. In a game of cricket, we must have observed that there are two innings, and if you play first inning well, you sail to the second inning very easily. And if you don't perform in the first innings, and then you have to face follow-ons. and it becomes difficult for you to save the game. And this is what is investment is. Shruti, you have spoken about the difference between savings and investment. And in fact, this is the very interesting aspect we need to understand whenever we look for investments. Most of us are not doing right investments. Most of us do not understand the right approach of investments. And in fact, most of us learn right investing after spending 10, 15 years, wasting, not spending, wasting 10, 15, initial 10, 15 years of our life understanding investment. And these first 10, 15 years are the golden years of retirement planning. What's the basic problem? What Shruti has referred to the difference between saving and investing. There's only one difference. Investing cannot be done without savings. But what's the differences, friends? The savings and investment differs only due to one word, and that word is inflation. Then why most of us are poor investors? Not poor investors, below average investors. What's the reason? Reason is very simple. Perhaps I am the third generation in the history of Indian subcontinent. I'm saying history of Indian subcontinent, right? I'm the third generation, or at the most fourth generation, who is facing a sustained inflation. This inflation was not there 100 years ago, friends, in India, right? And when inflation, I'm talking of sustained inflation, where the price of a commodity, the price of a good and services keep on rising year on year, right? That sustained inflation was not there 100 years ago. So if 100 years ago, if my great-grandfather used to save a one coin, that coin doesn't lose its value due to absence of inflation. It means that by saving that rupee, my grandfather used to store the purchasing power. But when I save that coin loses value every month, every year. And I'm not able to save my purchasing power. So what is the difference between investing and saving? Very simple. In investing, you try to protect not only your purchasing power, but you ensure that you keep on adding to your purchasing power. And that's called wealth creation. Without investing, you will not be able to do it. So what is investing? Investing is earning real rate of returns. And what is real rate of returns? The return earned by you minus inflation, minus taxation, after giving taxes, after deducting inflation, what is with you is called real rate of return. And I have no hesitation to say this, friends. Without knowing where you invest, most of your investments, particularly the fixed side, are not able to beat inflation post taxation for the longest period of time, 30, 40 years of time. So this is what the basic understanding we need to understand before we try to go to understand retirement, friends. Since Shruti touched upon savings and investments, I spent the time to see the difference between the two. Now, why retirement is the biggest challenge for us, friends? It's for a very simple reason, and I'm going to talk with you in detail. But the reason number one is, if we are not good investors, how we can become a good planner for retirement? You know why? Why will not be good planner for retirement? Perhaps we are the first generation in independent India and India before that, on the history of India, who will be doing retirement planning. Historically, we have never done this. Since we are the first generation, we are bound to commit mistakes. We don't have experiences, we don't have learnings, we don't have ideas, we don't have knowledge. What is the right planning for investments? Whatever ideas we have of right investment planning are the borrowed ideas from West, because West is doing retirement planning for the last two generations. And we can gain from their experience. Number one. Number two, why retirement planning is such a big challenge? Very simple, because our working life is shrinking and our life expectancy is rising, and that's the biggest challenge, friends. Why it's happening, we'll try to understand that. Friends, please understand this. Why retirement is important for us. First time in the history of humankind, first time in the history of humankind, we are Homo sapiens. Homo sapiens are around for the last 2 lakh years. First time in the history of Homo sapiens, one thing has happened in this current century. And you know what is that? The number of people in this world less than age 5, number of people in this world less than age 5 are less than the number of people more than 60 years on this earth. It has never happened in the history of human beings. It has never happened. Half of us today, with the age of less than 30 years, if I gather the experience of West and Japan, I will say that half of us today, with the age of 30 years, perhaps may not become grandfather, right? Most of the countries in the world today have a total fertility rate below 2. It means that below replacement rate, right? So kids are not there in this world. So you have to keep yourself, you have to take care of yourself on your own. Bacha budhape ki lathi does not stand in this modern world. Shruti started with her experience of one survey. Let me share one survey which I had read 20 years ago from a newspaper clipping from Europe. In London, in the morning, now we go for a morning walk. So the interviewer asks questions to the couples, those who were more than 70 years of age, in a garden, and ask them a simple question: if God gives you an opportunity to live your life again, what is the very first thing you would like to do? Most of them, more than 69% of them, responded that if God will give us opportunity to live the life again, we will ensure that we will do right retirement planning, friends. Most of the old in Europe are dependent on government, and that's the biggest problem of the PIGS countries. Why the expenses are so high for the governments of PIGS? Because they have to take care of their older population who have not done the right retirement planning, friends. HDFC Mutual Fund has a pension, notified pension scheme called Retirement Savings Fund. With the help of that presentation, we'll try to understand the reasons, the need, and the solutions for retirement. So, yeah, what's retirement is very simple, friends. I'll just steal the words of David Eisenhower, who was the American general in the World War II, and later on he became the president of US. His matrix is called Eisenhower matrix, a very popular matrix, and he used to say that the things which appears urgent in life are never important, and the things which are most important in life never appears urgent. Retirement, as far as investing is concerned, is the most important goal, but this goal will never appear urgent because retirement happens 20 year hence, 30 year hence, 40 year hence. It's as a distant future. Since it happens in the distant future, we don't give it that priority, and we fail to do retirement planning at the right time, and we attempt to do retirement planning after 50 years of age or 55 years of age, when we have a very less time to make things clear and do planning in a most suitable, optimal manner. So what's the important thing we need to understand? It should be the first priority as soon as you receive the first paycheck of your life. So actually, HDFC made a scheme accordingly, and this is called HDFC Retirement Savings Fund. And this retirement savings fund will have three variants. The first variant is a variant wherein you will accumulate wealth for your retirement, and that is, of course, that is equity oriented, and this is called HDFC Retirement Savings Fund Equity Plan. Then when you go beyond the age of 40-45, for your age between 45 and 60 years, when you try to plan your retirement and you are very near to your retirement, that's called you're approaching a distribution phase of life. You need to have a stability in your planning, stability in your investments, and for them we have a HDFC Retirement Savings Fund Hybrid Equity Plan, wherein you divide your money judiciously between the debt for stability and equity for increase in your wealth creation. And then comes your retirement, post-retirement planning, that is after 60 years of age or 65 years of age. The moment you retire, in that of time, you need a regular flow of your income, and income is guaranteed by exposure to the debt, and we call it HDFC Retirement Savings Fund hybrid debt plan, so that you can ensure a regular flow of income. So what's the first challenge in retirement funds? Very simple. When India got independent in 1947, you will not believe it, friends, the life expectancy was 32 or 31 years. That's why you must have observed that whenever we seek blessings from our seniors, whenever we touch feet of our parents and our gurujans, they will always say Dirdhayu Bhava, Ayushman Bhava, Jeete Raho, Jindar Hai Puttar. Why they say this, right? They never say this, be successful, right? They never use this word, be successful, be victorious, which according to our Sanatan Shastras is the one of the foremost blessings. But our parents never give us those blessings. They always give us the blessing, Zinda Raho, Dirdhayu Bhav. You know why? Because there was a high mortality rate when we got independence and pre-independence. And that's why our expectancy was just 32 years. So to be victorious in life, to be successful in life, you have to survive first, right? The blessings was in and around surviving. Those blessings, वो आशीर्वाद अब काम करने लगे हैं, right? What does it mean? It means that life expectancy of Indians now is beyond 70 years. And those who are well-to-do people, those are earning good, is now beyond 80 years. If you look at the life expectancy of Japanese, they're close to 90 years, 87, 88 years. Very soon it will be 90 years. Right? 20% odd Japanese are of age more than 100 years. And those viewers who are with me on this video, listening this program, and if your age is 25 and 30 years, I strongly believe that most of you, half of you, will cross 100 years, friends. So you're going to survive that longer, right? So that rising life expectancy means what? It means that your retirement age will be very long compared to your parents, right? So if it is a long, you have to ensure that money is there at every moment of your life. Adequate amount of money is there at every moment of your life to have a happy and blissful life, friends. So now let me give you one of the biggest economic reason that why you should try for retirement is safeguarding against the biggest modern economic challenge. Assume that you spend 50,000 monthly to survive. If there is a 6% inflation in the next 20 years, after 20 years, your monthly expenses will be 1,60,000. Do you hear it? 1,60,000.